It was supposed to be a routine mapping expedition in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania. The team, composed of geologists, cave divers, and a documentary crew, was searching for unexplored karst formations. But what they found wasn't on any satellite map, nor mentioned in local folklore. It started with a simple landslide. After a night of heavy rain, the side of a mountain shifted, revealing a jagged hole, narrow and black, like the mouth of something alive. The air was warm, moist, and smelled faintly of sulfur and something far older. Curious, they descended. That was the first mistake. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. Walls were smooth, not naturally worn, but carved. Symbols repeated in patterns too deliberate to be accidental. Not runes. Not Latin. Something entirely unknown. The cave wasn't a cave, it was a passage. For the first 100 meters, they followed standard safety protocols. But radios began to crackle. Compasses spun. One of the lights caught what appeared to be a sculpture, 6 feet tall, humanoid, but eyeless, with elongated fingers and sharp ridges along the skull. The material was dark and cold, like obsidian, but porous like bone. They pressed deeper. Then came the chamber. It was vast, larger than any natural cavern they had seen, supported by pillars carved in the shapes of coiled serpents and winged beasts. The ceiling shimmered faintly, as if coated with tiny bioluminescent organisms. But there was no life. No sound. Just the weight of immense silence. In the center, they found what they later called the gate, a circular structure etched with thousands of markings and grooves. It pulsed slightly when touched. One of the team, a linguist named Dr. Elise Varga, claimed the symbols bore resemblance to pre-Sumerian pictographs, an impossible link across continents and time. She translated one phrase, "To open is to remember." That night, they heard whispering. Not echoes. Not wind. Words. Ancient, yet strangely familiar. Like thoughts that didn't belong to them. One of the cameramen had a seizure. When he woke, he began drawing obsessively, spirals, eyes, geometric shapes, and what looked like star maps. He said, "It's underneath us." Breathing. The gate opened 2 days later, on its own. Behind it, a slope descended into total darkness. The walls were warm. Pulsing. Like skin. As they moved, the air thickened. Gravity seemed to shift. Sounds grew distant. Time stretched. One member wandered only 30 meters from the group but was found hours later, aged visibly, with white hair and deep wrinkles. He spoke in a language none of them understood, and died minutes later. The tunnel ended in a chamber unlike any other. A giant sphere hovered in midair, emitting a low hum. Around it floated smaller orbs, moving in perfect sync, defying physics. One team member reached out and was pulled in. She vanished, no scream, no flash, just gone. The walls showed images, tall humanoid beings, vast cities underground, a war fought with light, and then, exile. Something had been sealed away. Something buried. The gate wasn't a door, it was a prison. They tried to leave, but the paths had changed. The cave no longer followed Euclidean geometry. Left became right. Up turned sideways. They walked for hours, only to return to the same chamber. The lights began to dim. Shapes moved at the edges of their vision. Whispers turned to voices. Voices turned to screams. Only 2 emerged alive. One was Dr. Varga, who refused to speak for years. The other, a technician, disappeared 6 months later. Surveillance footage showed him walking into a forest at 2:43 a.m. and never returning. Dr. Varga eventually published her findings in a suppressed journal. She claimed the cave was a remnant of a pre-human civilization that lived beneath the Earth's crust, what some call the Hollow Earth. Others believe it's something older, from beyond this world, exiled to Earth millennia ago. Today, the cave is sealed off by armed guards and labeled a biohazard zone. The Romanian government denies its existence. But locals tell stories of strange sounds on quiet nights. Of glowing cracks in the ground. Of people who vanish near the mountain and return, different. Some say the cave isn't closed. It's watching. Waiting.